Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Tripp, and this is my monthly game according to me podcast. This is for April 2019. Sorry, this is a couple days late. Um, I had the on Monday. I woke up with a horrible pain in my ankle, so I had to go to the emergency room, and I was just kind of just focused on trying to get this ankle better, and it is better. It is better. Now I couldn't walk on it for another time. For the first time in my life, I had to use crutches for something. So, but I am better, and I am good, and uh I am not ready to talk about what happened this month and everything. We start off at the very first of this month of April with of course the WrestleMania. If you guys have not seen my review of it, it is up on my YouTube channel. Make sure you go there, search AJ Tripp to find it. And yeah, so I thought this WrestleMania was just meh. You know, some people think it's good because of all of the, they get everything that they wanted. They got Seth winning, they got Kofi winning, and they got Becky winning. But I don't think so. I think, what about all of the other stuff in between? I mean, some of the other stuff in between was just average at best, if that. And so, it was just meh. You know, so I wasn't a big fan of it, really. Yeah, so that was that. Um, and then there was the NCAA championship game the night after that, as it's usually been for the most part, from what I can remember. And it was a game. I was rooting for Texas Tech. I wanted Texas Tech to win. Because they were the underdogs. They weren't supposed to be there, but they were. So I was rooting for Texas Tech, but unfortunately Virginia did win, and Virginia is the national champions. And congratulations to them. And so you never have to, oh, they never have to worry. They a couple years ago they were the first number one team to lose to a 16 seed, and they come back the next year and they win the they win the NCAA national championship, and so that is that is going that was this was something to think about. Um, a very good month for Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger in baseball, right? Cody Bellinger's had the highest month in WAR. Even though that's super funny, I don't even know why I brought that up. But he's had 37 RBIs, which matter. This is one of the stats that do matter in like 30 some odd games. So he's been fantastic. Christian Yelich, he had so much, but he had hit like so many home runs in a month for Milwaukee. So it is incredible what these two have done. Um, what these two have done, this month in April, and so a lot of great stuff going on in baseball. The Cubs had a little hiccup seemingly at the beginning, but they seem to be going back and doing what they are known to do. Um, and yeah, so we had and we had some other good stuff too. We had a seemingly at the beginning, seemingly Seattle was doing great stuff. They were shell shocking the Boston Red Sox and Chris Sale at one point. I remember at the beginning of the month. Um, but They seem to have come back down to fast. And how about Tim Anderson on the White Sox on the South Side of Chicago? He seems to be playing like with just incredible. He seems to be have woken up, and he got suspended, because he said some words that he's not supposed to say. So I know a lot of people saying, a lot of people had this thoughts of, well, Joe Torre and baseball should not be, they shouldn't be, talking about that because, of the word he said, used the N word. Tim Anderson is black. So he's not supposed to, they shouldn't be trying to talk about it. But I do understand the fact that, they just they don't want nothing to do with that word. And whoever says it gets this. And because the only reason why he got one game was because he was black. If he was, Latino or white, he could have got, he could have got, you know, he might have got a whole half a year. Man, he's been suspended forever. So you never would have known. But shout out to Tim Anderson. He playing a really, really big game. And then how about the NBA playoffs? The NBA playoffs have been pretty good. I've enjoyed the LeBron James playoffs. Oh, it's been fantastic. Because you can just sit down. Now you're not really rooting against anybody. You're rooting for, you're rooting for teams. You're not rooting against, teams. You're rooting against players, and I think that's the best way that you can have a, a playoffs, something like that. When you're rooting for a team and not against a team. If you always got to root against the Patriots, or always got to root against LeBron James, you get you just don't enjoy it as much as you can root for teams. Because you can root for the Nuggets and the Blazers, and you can root for, and you can root for other teams, and root for other players, and so that's what makes, I think, the playoffs so good. So I've enjoyed the LeBron James playoffs in the NBA. The first round, some people didn't like it because it wasn't all that good, but I thought it was very, 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 very good. So and then we had the most recent the NBA draft. So how about that, right? The NBA draft. The NBA draft was fantastic. Not the NBA draft. I'm sorry, the NFL draft. I am just out of it, y'all. I am just out of it. Damn. We had the NFL draft, and Kyler Murray went to Arizona. Arizona then traded Josh Rosen to the Miami Dolphins. So Kyler Murray should be the number one guy to start from day one. Because to me, starting anybody else, Cliff Kingsbury talked about Brett Hundley. No, you start Kyler Murray from day one, and he's just being, I don't know what he's being, but maybe banging Holly Saunders, has his fried his brain a little bit. Someone that hot can do that to people, but it is incredible with what happened back-to-back years. Heisman Trophy winners from the same school are going to are going number one, and then someone made a comment that Jalen Hurts, you're next, because Jalen Hurts is transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma, and he's going to be the starter there. So he has to win the Heisman and be the number one draft pick. Although some people are saying that it could be, they had Thomas Shea has it already as Tua Tagovailoa as the number 1 draft pick, had him going to the Miami Dolphins. Okay, so wait, that makes no sense, because then why did you trade for Josh Rosen? No, I mean that kid ain't gonna get a chance to be a good quarterback, because he gonna be traded and around and just screwed over just because for whatever reason. And no, so if Miami Dolphins do end up with the number 1 draft pick, they need to take somebody to help Josh Rosen or fix the defense. Do not take Tua Tagovailoa. That is just stupid. Absolutely stupid. So anyway, we had Nick Bosa go second. Became the first family to be drafted in the first round on defense. Offense, there was obviously there's the Manning family of Archie, Eli, and Peyton, the greatest quarterback of all time. There was some good things. The Raiders had the 4th pick, and they selected somebody from Clemson, and and this is the funniest thing. They showed on TV one of the Raiders fans. He was sickened, but he was sickened by that pick. He just couldn't believe it. It was just the greatest thing you could see, man. He was, oh my God, are you kidding me? Really? So the Raiders took some guy from Clemson, and then of course maybe the shock of the draft, at the number 6 spot, the New York Giants took Daniel Jones, the quarterback from Duke, instead of Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State. He went 16th to Washington, I believe. And then Dave Gettleman, the GM of the Giants, he came out and said, I know there were 2 teams that were going to select him. I know for a fact that 2 teams were going to select Daniel Jones before 17. And everybody's like, well, how do you know for a fact? How can you know that for a fact? I mean, you don't know. You think you can know, but you don't know. How you know for a fact? That doesn't make any sense. So, Dave Gettleman got creamed for that, for that pick. And hey, listen, it is what it is. It's for years to come. It's going to be. It always will be the Giants versus the Redskins, but for years it's going to be Daniel Jones versus Dwayne Haskins. And Daniel Jones, the only way that the Giants are going to be, the Giants fans are going to be happy, is if Daniel Jones wins Super Bowls. If he wins more Super Bowls than the Redskins, because if Dwayne Haskins beat the Giants like each and every year, but the Giants always go to the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl, maybe the Giants would be happy. Maybe Giants fans would be happy that they got Daniel Jones instead of Dwayne Haskins, but you never know. You never know. What else happened? A lot of other things. I was upset. The Bears. They traded up. And I don't care about what they feel about David Montgomery, how shifty he is, and everything like that. It's Jordan Howard 2.0. You need a running back that's gonna have breakaway speed. Breakaway speed. Someone who can run away from people, who scored long touchdowns. And what you got was Jordan Howard 2.0. I could not believe it. Dexter Williams was there. They could have stayed at 87 and got Dexter Williams. They could have got anybody else who was faster with breakaway speed, and they got Jordan Howard 2.0. I mean, it is just, it's oh, God. Oh. Anyway, thank you guys so much for understanding the reason why this is late. I appreciate y'all. I'll try to make sure that the May version is on time. So thank you guys so much for listening. As always, be good to each other. Be careful out there. I am out. See you guys next month.